Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to introduce a dear friend who is a former governor of Arkansas and a very strong contender for the nomination for the presidency of the United States. He's here with us speaking at the Executive Leadership Summit of Regent University. But, Mike's good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Pat, it's such a pleasure to be back. Thank you.
I want to start off a little bit off the wall, if you don't mind. I want you to think forward to the next presidential election. And Mike Huckabee is the 20th of January. He's just held his hand up and sworn the oath of office. And you're the man. So they give you an office, you go down and you can sign papers. I want to ask you, if there are 10 things I'm sure you want to do, but out of those 10, what 3 would you like to see done? If you had that power and you could sign executive orders or send messages to Congress, or what would you do?
You know, Pat, I want to begin by saying I think that if that were to happen, it would be, for some people, America's national nightmare.
For others, it would be a hallelujah moment. Just keep that in mind.
And I hope there would be more of them feeling that way. One thing I would want to do is to let the world know that America plans on being a nation that means what it says and says what it means. We've lost stature in the world. And as much as I'm concerned about the domestic problems that we face in this country that we need to attack, everything from the overreach of the IRS and the trampling of civil rights, things that have really destroyed the basic constitutional foundation, especially with religious liberty. We have to start with that idea that America must be a strong nation, a nation that is not to be trifled with, because I feel like that we have come to a place where there's not a country on this planet with whom we have a better relationship now than we did 6 years ago, what then would be 8 years before.
He's really destroyed our credibility, hasn't he? This whole, what is the ethos, do you think, that's pushing our president? Where do you think he's coming from? You
know, it's hard for me to understand. And I think when he first came into office, I was like so many people that this may surprise people. I didn't vote for him, campaigned for McCain, but I was proud of America. As a kid that had grown up in the Jim Crow South, Pat, I felt like this is a great moment for this country. We are moving in a direction, and I thought he would do what he had campaigned on, bring people together, be the more nonpartisan president, to focus on governing and not on campaigning. Well, I was proven wrong, and I have to believe that deep inside of him, there is a sense in which he doesn't want America to be the superpower, the exceptional nation that I believe God made us to be.
Well, he wrote that book, you know, Messages and What It Was from My Father, and his father hated the Brits. He hated Churchill. He hated the Western powers because of the way they treated the Luo tribes people in Kenya. So he really wanted to diminish America and diminish the Western alliance. He didn't like Western civilization.
Well, it apparently, some of it's rubbed off, and I have asked myself, why do you run to be president of the United States if you didn't want to lead the country to greater days, if you wanted to curtail its power and trim it back the sails? I would think that the ambition, the goal, the hope of every American president, and I believe historically it has been, to make America stronger. Not every president has succeeded at that. Some have failed miserably at it. They've taken us backwards. But I don't believe that's what they intended to do.
Of course not. You ran an amazing campaign. You had almost no money, and yet you just scored win after win. What were the people saying to you when you were out there? I mean, you had a lot of success.
Pat, I think as I look back on 2008, a lot of people thought that my support came largely and almost exclusively from evangelicals, people who were pro-life and pro-family, and certainly had a lot of support from the faith community, a lot of very conservative Catholics who are pro-life. They know that for me, that is a non-negotiable. But the truth is, the real strength of the campaign that I had came from working class people that I connected with because they knew that's who I am. I've always said I have a lot more in common with the people working in the kitchen than I do the people at the head table. I had to learn how to sit at the head table. That's not where I grew up. And I understood everybody who was working to clean up the room. And that's where I came from. And I believe that it's a great advantage, and that I believe God gave me that background, not as a curse, but as a blessing. And as I look back, I wouldn't trade my growing up for anything. And I think that there was that connection with people that felt disenfranchised from their government.
Yeah. All right. Well, you're here. I've diverted from your principal topic. You're going to Washington shortly to talk about the pro-Israel rally of Concerned Women for America, I believe it is. Tell us about that.
I'm partnering with Concerned Women for America, October the 5th in Washington at the Capitol. We'll do a rally from 2 to 4 in the afternoon. It's a Sunday afternoon. We hope people from across America, but especially within driving distance of Washington, will come and join us in a rally for Israel. A lot of the information is available at rallyforisrael.com. But here's why it's important, Pat. Israel is the only true friend we have on that entire continent.
Yes.
Not even close anyone else. And they mirror who we are as a country, with rights for women, with rights of free speech. They elect their officials, and they hold them accountable.
They put them in jail if they steal, too.
Just like we should. But, you know, it is an important thing. Yeah. And yet there are so many Americans who have treated Israel with such disrespect, and I think it's ignorance. My first trip to Israel was in 1973. I was 17 years old. It was 41 years ago. I've been going back so many times I've lost count. Just there 3 weeks ago, third time this year. And I'm convinced that America needs to say to the world, we stand with Israel. And so that's why we're going to have the rally. We hope people will show their support and make a statement.
Well, I hope it's successful. I want to get one other commitment. I want you to tell me, if you decide to announce, will you be good enough to appear on this program and let America know about it?
If I do, and that's not a decision I have made, I want to make that clear. Right. But if I do, I would be honored, because I always have admired what you have been able to do, this marvelous campus, and the great outreach of the 700 Club.
Appreciate your career and your work. I was privileged to be involved in helping you get elected to governor of against all the odds, I mean. You're a Baptist preacher, and you beat a Clinton candidate in Arkansas. That was very impressive.
It shocked a lot of people.
You had the whole machine against you, and you won.
Well, it was rough, because, I mean, I was outspent 15 to 1.
Yeah.
And nobody thought it was possible for me to win. And when I did win, my door was nailed shut at the state capitol for the first 59 days that I was lieutenant governor of Arkansas.
Awful.
Because they were so angry that I had upset their apple cart. But you know what? It was intended for harm, God used for good.
That's
just
right.
like it was for Joseph. And as it turned out, the people's reaction to the way that was handled gave me support that I wouldn't have had otherwise.
Well, they love you, and I just wish you the best. And again, I'm looking forward to that appearance. It's coming up pretty soon. So
yes, it is.
Do a lot of praying. Michael Huckabee, thank you so much.
Thank you, Pat.
God
My pleasure.
Bless you. Well, if you'd like more information about the rally in support of Israel, by the way, on October the 5th, you can go to our website, cbnnews.com. And we'll be back with more as we continue.